Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and you're having a wonderful weekend. We're actually doing a retake here. We had started the video, but we're going to do it right again. All right, so let's get started. For those that have been making inquiries about the course starts on the 17th of June. We're only going to have the next course on the 17th of June to the 27th of June. So if you're interested in the course, contact me as per my contact details under the description of my videos. So if you go to any of my videos, you'll find my contact details. It could be through Telegram, WhatsApp, or through the TradingView inbox, which I don't quite check often, so please use mostly the email. You will get a response on your inquiries. So for the course, we don't have a lot of time to talk about the course here. So if you're looking for information regarding the timing and the content of the course, send an email and you will get all of that. So even if we are not going to have the course now, you can always join us at any time because the course is pre-recorded on videos. So June will be the live course, but you can get started as soon as you log on and you can get access also to the premium group. All right, so let's get started with today's analysis. We're going to start with the cryptocurrencies. As usual, we'll start with Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin. Right, so Bitcoin. Now we're going to look at the daily time frame first, as usual, so we can see where we're coming from and where we're going. So let's get started with this. Right, so this is the Bitcoin chart that I've been showing for the last couple of months. Okay, so I always show you the structure. Some of you are already getting tired of this, but we have to show it so we can understand the structure. Okay, when you trade, understanding the whole structure, you trade with confidence. Right, so we've always had this pulsing move to the upside on Bitcoin, and I'm going to do this one in red. We've got a pullback in red and another pullback in the same degree like that. Okay, so actually that is a different degree, so let's use a different color there. We're going to use the green color. Okay, so this is what we have. Now we've had this move to the downside. Look at this move. We're going to get back to this move and explain what's going on here. Now the current move that is happening here, which is this one, this move is supposed to be this one. I'm going to clean the chart just now. This is the move that we have here. We're expecting this move to come here. Either this will make a running flat or it will break the top here. Why? Because we've got two alternatives here and you cannot run away from either of them. Both of them have got a possibility of happening. Why? Because we already have broken the previous low here. Now, if we've broken the previous low, this can turn here for this move. We'll still expect that we get a one more down here, like this, as close as possible to zero. I have to be careful not to put it up below zero because some people are very sensitive about that. This is only the annotation on Zoom, guys. So I may go lower than the zero, but it doesn't mean that I'm saying it will go lower than the zero. So now, after this move, then we're expecting that we get this move here. Now this move is actually this one. Okay, so we're gonna look at this. Let's clean the chart up here and label it. So now we've got the three-wave move down. Why do I say three-wave moves? It's one, it's two, it's three. Now this is a W. Let's label it in red so we can be consistent with the degrees. This is your W and your whole green here is your X. Now you've got this move that we're expecting to the downside. Okay, and that is the Y move. The current move that is happening now, which is this one that I've indicated with green, this one, I'm going to clean it up here now. This move is actually this one. So we're looking for this to come back up here. Either it can come up here or it can break the top. If it comes here, it's a running flat. If it comes and breaks the top here, it's going to make an expanding flat. So that is the move that we're looking at now. We are getting a continuation here and we're looking for continuation to the upside. Now we're getting a continuation pattern. We're going to get to this in the 4-hour time frame. Now if we had to label this further, let's see. This is going to be your ABC structure. ABC. Okay? Right? Now, what is that ABC structure? We can mark that structure in blue. So that is your whole structure. That is your whole X. Now, if you look at this in terms of degrees, let's do this. 1, 2, 3. That is why that one is a W. Now you've got one other 1, 2, 3. That one is an X. What are you expecting? We've got this move currently happening. We're still expecting this 1, 2, 3 again. As you will see here, you're going to have 3-wave move to the downside, 3-wave move correction, and another 3-wave move to the downside. Makes perfect sense. Now we're going to expect the pulsing move to the upside or similar to this. Right? So that move can also be, next week I'm going to show an alternative that could happen to the upside. So this may not go up as a pulsing move. I'm going to show next week what the possibility could be. It can actually be another corrective structure like that will come back and push higher. But let me not confuse you with this detail right now. We'll do that next week. So this is a simple A, B, C structure. Clear, right? It's very clear. So now, if you look at this, what you have here is a simple pulsing move, a correction, and a pulsing move. And that is how the Elliott Wave theory works. Now, we have forecasted. Now, we need to go down to the lower time frame to see if we can get a specific trade setup. Now, some may have a concern with this. If you look at that here, let's show what we're looking at here. Why do I say this is a B wave? It cannot just be a B wave if it's not a 3-wave move. This is a clear 3-wave move. You've got a running flat there. And then your running flat looks something like this. 1, 2, 3. That is why you've got a B wave there. Okay? There's no 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 has got its own rule. 1, 2, 3 must be an impulsive move. Okay, that's something that we cover in the course. There's a difference between a 1, 2, 3 and an ABC move. You can have a whole chart without any 1, 2, 3. Actually, pulsing moves you only happen about 20 to 30% of the time in the charts. That is where most beginner waivers get it wrong, because you're looking for pulsing moves where there are no pulsing moves. Okay, so look for what is there. Now you look at this. If you wanted to label this, this will be another W, it will be another X, it will be another Y. Why is that? If I wanted to go down lower, I could do that. Let's use white so you can see how complex it gets as you come down. But it's actually easy because you're just following the principle. 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. Now, if you look at what I've just done with the white color, 1, 2, 3, is exactly what we're expecting for this outer degree. Now, let's look at this clearly. I hope you can be able to identify what I've just done here. This white structure, the blue structure, if you look at the higher degree, red is exactly identical as what we are expecting. So what has unfolded in the lower degree, we're expecting it to unfold in the red degree. Let's go through this and show you what I mean. 1, 2, 3 down. Look at follow the white. Just follow the white for now. It's 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3 down. Now look at the higher degree red. Now let's follow the green. 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 back. Now, what am I expecting? 1, 2, 3 down. Why? Because of this fractal inside as well. It's called fractals. You can see the exact repeat of what has happened in the lower degree. You're seeing it in the higher degree, and that is Bitcoin. Very clear structure. Now, let's look at this lower degree structure, 4 hour. Let's look at the 4 hour. Now, if you look at the 4 hour, let's get that auto. What did we expect last week? What we expected last week with this was that we expected that we're going to have a continuation pattern like this one that was going to push higher. Yes, we got the move to the upside. It did not go all the way as we expected, but at the same time, it was making a larger corrective structure, and that is now what is currently forming as a corrective structure. Now, this can be a running flat, or it can be an expanding flat. So if it becomes an expanding flat, it means it's going to break slightly lower and then push higher. Now, whatever it is, if you get a buy setup here, you take it. It's going to go up, okay? Or if you get a move down first here and you get a pulsing move and a corrective structure, then you can look at that one to take it up, okay? But obviously, you have to look at the risk to reward ratio and what the forecast was in the higher degree. Now, that is the structure for Bitcoin, and that's how clear Bitcoin is. Now, if you look at let's look at Litecoin. Now, Litecoin also, we've got a 3-wave corrective structure pullback, which is this one here. And we're expecting that after this may push a little bit higher. So it's a pullback in 3 waves and a continuation. So that's continuation pattern to the upside, right? So we have to look at that and see how that plays out. Now, if you look at this one here, you've got 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. It's a clear WXY structure here, WXY structure when you're looking for upside. That is if you don't get another double in the higher degree, but that's let's not complicate it. Let's just look at what we have currently. There's a possibility, obviously, here that we get one more down before we go up. But right now, we are getting, we are getting a continuation pattern here. This may be breaking out of this one here. So that may be the end of this one. So it could be a 1, 3, 2, and a 3, and now we're getting impulse move, and we're going to get to the upside like that. At least minimum to the 50 to 61% of this whole swing. Now you've got a buy set up here. If this confirms, you get out of the structure, you can look to take that and push your stop here. But you obviously have to look at your risk to reward ratio if it's a good trade to take. Okay, the detail of trade setups we do in our group. We've got daily webinars where we go into the details, where to enter, where to put your stop, and where to move your stop to break even. That's some of the advantages of being in our group, and also the benefit of having over 370 traders who are looking at the charts the same way. So this is Litecoin. Now let's look at Litecoin. Actually, if you look on the higher time frame on the daily, if you look on the daily on Litecoin, you will see that we forecasted this reversal on Litecoin with the blue box here. So if you look at last year's videos or beginning of the year videos, we forecasted that this Litecoin was going to reverse here because we were looking at that blue structure. If you follow the blue, let's switch off here. If you follow the blue, this is what it looks like. It's a 3-wave move to the downside and a pullback, and a 3-wave move to the downside like that. Now we're getting this move to the upside. Is this the one that's gonna go? We've got this one here. Is this the one? So let's see. We're getting continuation pattern here. Let's see if we're gonna get this. But this may not go all the way. It may go retest the previous high first, come back for one before it pushes higher. But it doesn't matter. This is the higher time frame. For now, the lower time frame, you'll be expecting that this pullback in 3 waves be reversed for one up. Okay, so we'll look for this one to push a little bit higher. All right, so that is Litecoin. Now let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum has got a similar structure as Bitcoin. We also expected, let's just do this. There's somebody who's got the video on. Let's switch off the video panel. Right, now we also expected Ethereum, and I'm on the daily here, to have a continuation pattern, which was this one here. We'll look at this continuation pattern in the 4-hour, but this one did not go anywhere. Similar, Bitcoin actually broke the top here, but this one only went as far as here. But at the same time now, what has happened is we can see a clear corrective structure here, which is this one. Now from there, we already have a pulsing move. All you want now is a confirmation of a corrective structure in the lower degree if this is going to push even higher. Okay. Now let's look at the 4 hours, see what the structure was last week. So this was the structure that we looked at last week. We actually did the webinar on Tuesday last week because of the holidays. So we expected that this was gonna push higher. It only went a couple of points to the upside, but now the structure that we are seeing now is this one here, downside here. Is this ready to go? It will only be ready if it makes a corrective structure, clear corrective structure for upside. It must break up here to confirm that it's gonna go. That is Ethereum. Now Ripple, let's look at Ripple. Ripple is also making a 3-wave pullback, but we have to see look at the higher degree structure that is on the daily. Let's look at Ripple. Now, what are we looking at with Ripple? I've been shown this, there's button that works amazing. So this is now the whole chart on Ripple. This is a whole Ripple chart. I'm gonna remove, let's take off the labeling and just look at the structure. Now, this is what you should do when you look at a chart. You must look at the chart and identify the structures. And it's not just a matter of identifying the structures. You also need to know the levels. Now here we've got a move to the downside on Ripple. and that is in 3 waves. Now, after that move, you get this running flat here, then you get this move to the downside. Okay, so that becomes a 1, 2, 3. Let's show that 3-way move here. You've got 1, 2, 3 there. Now that becomes a WXY structure. Now, if we look at this, we're expecting that we're going to have a structure like this that corrects the whole move. Now we want Ripple to come back and retest the previous low, which is this one, this line below here. I'm expecting a pulsing move here, similar to this one on Ripple, and that will be coming soon. You need to watch it. Now, this pulsing move could be the one more up that we've seen on Bitcoin, whereas we are going to still get another one more down here. We are on 0 here, so that may just do that, and then we go. Either that or this is going to go from here. Now, that's why you cannot afford to miss this structure, because it could be the one that goes. So that one, let's do this. So let me get a arrow. So this one here could be this move. So if it is, then we're going to have to adjust the structure and look at this alternative. So you cannot afford to miss this one. The move is coming, and the structure here is very clear. If you label this W, the whole blue is X, and you're looking for the Y. And that's why I'm also being careful here not to put it below 0, because that will mean that it will go below 0, and that's not possible. We're not expecting that to go below 0. We're expecting that now you can actually hold the cryptocurrencies for long term, not just for short term trading, because they look like the big move here is coming, and that's what we're going to be looking at. Okay, let's just take this off. So now let's have a look. So we want that. I'm going to focus here on this when I'm going to go to the lower time frame, now the 4 hour. Let's look at the 4 hour and look at this structure. Let's do that. Now, this is the previous low that we spoke about. Either this is going to come down here. I'm actually going to put in a buy limit order here at this level, because I'm expecting that if we come down to this level, we're going to get that sharp move to the upside. Just hold on a second, guys. All right, so let's resume. So this is what we're looking at on Ripple. We're looking for this to come down here. As I said, I'll be looking to put in a buy limit order there, as I'm expecting the pulsing move to happen from that area. Okay, so keep watching. So if you get a pulsing move here and the buy setup here, you can take it anytime, guys. You should take it from there. Now, what I've just done here is, you'll see that with the 4 cryptocurrencies that I've discussed, and this is the Elliott Wave principle. Let me just give you a 2-minute education here. This is how the wave theory works. You're always going to get a pulsing move and a correction, and from there you're going to get another pulsing move. Now, how do you know that this move has ended? You're going to know because you're going to get a pulsing move in the opposite direction. So if you get a pulse and a pulse, that means the move has ended, obviously depending on the degree. In this case, if you get a pulsing move in the opposite direction and the correction, that means you're going to get a pulsing move. So it's always going to be a pulse, correction, and a pulse. Now, if you get a pulse in the opposite direction, that means you're going to expect a correction. If you get a pulse here, that means you are now going to expect another move to continue to the upside. So you get this pulsing move and a corrective structure again. Now, after the corrective structure, you're going to get a pulsing move. What you have simply done here is something very, very simple. You've got to move up, you've got to move back, and you've got to move up. You've simply made a 3-wave move in the higher degree. You see, which you can even label as a WXY structure if you wanted to. And that is the principle of the wave theory. So if you understand this part, you've got 20% understanding of the wave theory. Now, a lot of people are looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive moves where there are no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves. On the cryptocurrencies, the 4 that we've discussed, there isn't any pulsing move that you can label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can find a whole chart without the pulsing move. Now, beginner waivers will be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s when they are not there. So you label what is there, because pulsing move, although this is not a factual figure, it's an average. You find that the market only trends about 20 to 30% of the time. The rest of the time is correcting. That is why you need to master the corrections. You need to be a master of the corrections to understand the market most of the times. All right, so now let's go to the indices. Look at the indices. The indices, like I said, for the last couple of weeks, they've done exactly what we said they were going to do last year. 4 months ago or 6 months ago, we said that, let's have a look at what we're talking about here. Let's look at the S&P 500. Let's look at the S&P 500. Now the S&P 500, what has happened last year? If you look at my October videos, I think I showed the video last week. If you look at my October videos, when this was coming down, we said that we were going to reach previous highs. Okay, I know I've talked about this the last couple of weeks. I'm not trying to brag about it. Now we have reached those levels, so now we have to speak about it. We have reached the previous highs on the S&P 500, forecasted when this was coming down. So this is how accurate. Now the reason why I keep talking about it, I'm trying to show you how accurate this strategy is. Obviously, there's got some flaws, which you need to understand, and that's why you need to use risk management. Right, so we looked at this as a expanding flat last year. So when it was coming down here like this, we could see that this was not going to go all the way. I thought that it was only going to break this low here and push higher. So even though it pressed a little bit, it pushed a little bit lower, there was not there was no reason to panic here, because we could see that that was still going to be, this was still a valid expanding flat. Now this is your expanding flat. And now we are looking for this to press even higher to new highs. We have now reached the previous highs. This was a WXY structure. We've got a pulsing move to the upside here. So what do we expect? Either we get a deeper corrective structure at current levels, or we just continue from there. This is not one of those support and resistance levels. We don't trade support and resistance. We only look at structural levels. Support and resistance doesn't work. Now, what more do we need to say about this one? Let's look at the 4 hour. We're on the 4 hour actually. So what you want to do here is to look for every corrective structure for upside. Every corrective structure is for upside. But it's a little bit risky now after the market has moved so much. Now you'll see that every time in the last, actually since the beginning of the year, when we had these pullbacks, I've said that it's opportunities to buy, to keep buying, because this was going to be the move. So these are the types of trades that you are looking for, the ones that keep trending. Every time you get corrective structures like this one, now you're getting another one. Okay, it's going to push higher. So you may take this one here, but at this point, if you look at this, I'm sure there's clearly divergence between that. So we keep making higher highs. There isn't really divergence there. Okay, but the RSI is not making new highs as yet. So which means not reversal, you may get a pullback, a corrective structure that will take it up. Okay, so that's what you'd be expecting on all the cryptocurrencies. The Dow is exactly the same. Let's look at the Dow. Where's the Dow? Where's my Dow? Why is that one refusing to load? There we go. So the Dow also, let's go to the daily first. Now if you look at the Dow, you can see exactly the same structure as the S&P 500. 3-wave move down, 3-wave move up, 3-wave move down, 3, 3, 3. Now what do I mean by 3, 3, 3? Let's show this. You've got 1, 2, 3 down here. You've got 1, 2, 3 up here. I'm gonna show these structures again next week. You've got 1, 2, 3. Here you've got a running flat. Okay, you have a running flat there. So it's a 3-wave down. It's a 3-wave up. Here you've got an expanding flat. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could look at these 3-wave structures as well. Now let's look at these ones. Now you've got 1, 2, 3 down here. If you wanted to go down lower, this is another 3-wave move here. This is another 3-wave move here. This is another 3-wave move here, and nothing forced. You don't force it. So that is the structure. That is your WXY structure, WXY. XY. Now, if you wanted to label lower, you can label the lower degrees as well. Now, this one is still just missing the previous highs by a few points. I'm sure it will push higher because you're getting a corrective structure here. I'm sure it's going to get to those previous highs. So similar to the S&P 500, we expected a push higher and new all-time highs when this was happening. All right, that is the Dow, the Nasdaq, similar, although the structure is slightly different. Now, the difference with the Nasdaq is that the Nasdaq has already reached the previous high and has already broken it. Let's show this. The Nasdaq has already broken the previous highs there. Now, what do we have on the Nasdaq? In the Nasdaq, you've got this structure. Now, the structure for the Nasdaq is not this one. It's not the same as for S&P 500 and the Dow. Why? Because this invalidates the rules of an expanding flat. You cannot have an expanding flat that goes beyond the 138 level. Okay, these are some of the guidelines that we use. So you have to have Fib levels for all these structures. And that is why Fibonacci is absolutely critical if you're trading the wave theory. Because we don't do support and resistances, we have to use the Fibonacci levels to identify our major levels. Right, so now the structure here is a simple three-wave pullback with a running flat in the middle. Now we have pushed higher. We're making another corrective structure that we're going up here. Okay, so that's why we're expecting the S&P 500 to also keep pushing higher. Next week, I'll show the structure for this scheme on all the indices. That is the Nasdaq. Now we look at the Nikkei. Nikkei had the clearest. Nikkei had the clearest structure. You had the move here. Okay, and unfortunately, Nikkei, let's just show you here the labeling. Nikkei, I don't know why I'm saying unfortunately. So there's nothing unfortunate about it. The difference between Nikkei and the rest of the structures is that Nikkei does not have a pulsing move like the others. Okay, Nikkei is not going in 5 waves. Okay, if you look at this structure on the S&P 500, this is a wave 4 that we want to go for a wave 5. Now, this is not a wave 4. Okay, now here, I'm going to show only this structure now. Let's switch off all this. What you have now here, what you had here on the Nikkei, you've got 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 back. You also had 1, 2, 3 down. So even here, when this was happening, we didn't panic because we were simply looking at this flat correction here. Okay, that is a WXY structure. Very simple, WXY. Now, even this current move that is happening, if you look at it, look at the first move. It's this one. It corrects. Now we're expecting this move. Now, if you look at how this move is playing out, this is the daily. I should actually go to the 4-hour. I'll go to the 4-hour just now. You'll see that there's a 3-wave move here. There's a 3-wave move there. There's a correction happening here. Now, after that correction, you're expecting this move to complete. Let me show you that structure clearly on the 4-hour so you can see what we're talking about. That we don't force the degrees. You must be able to identify these waves. Firstly, you have this one. There's no 5-wave move here. You've got 1 up to that move. You've got this pullback here, and then you're expecting this move here. Now, if you follow this with a structure, you'll see that you've got a expanding flat there and a move. So that's 1, 2, 3 waves. You've got 1, 2, 3, making a regular flat in the middle. You've got a 1. You're busy correcting here with this move, so you're expecting this one. So it's a simple WXY move. See how simple it is to identify the structures if you know the levels. That's the Nikkei. So your Nikkei, you're simply looking for this one to break and go complete the move to the upside. DAX. Also, you're looking for this one to pull back and push higher. Now, the DAX looks like it has made a move, an interesting move like this one. A running flat here and a push higher. But this one here is not complete yet. It may still have one more up before we get a pullback, a deeper pullback. We've got a 3-wave move, deeper pullback, and then we're looking for this one to push higher. You need to wait for the corrective structure here first. All right, that is the DAX Nifty. The Nifty, we're still busy correcting here. We looked at this as a 1, as a 2, as a 3. Now, we want this to pull back. So I would say, sometimes you see me saying, doing something like this, that we want to pull back. Okay, so I'm just showing you that there's going to be a corrective structure. So what you don't know is which corrective structure. All you know is that you're going to have a corrective structure that will be in 3 waves, whether it's in combination or whether it's in single. It doesn't matter, because when it's complete, you will know. Now we're simply looking for a continuation pattern here to push this one to the upside. Okay, remember the principle: 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3 up. So then you get 1, 2, 3. So the same thing here, you've got 1, 2, 3 up, we're expecting 1, 2, 3 back. Okay, whichever way it happens, we'll expect the continuation pattern to the upside. That is the Nifty, so you're simply looking for this one. It is not clear at this stage, it looks immature, it's still building up. Wait for this corrective structure to build, and so you can understand which one it is. One of the stocks that I do for one of my Indian traders, some of the Indian traders, that is the Sun Pharmaceutical stock. We were looking at this corrective structure, I think from last week. Expect this to push to the upside. So now this structure looks something like this. Let's just look at the corrective structure. You've got to move to the downside. You've got this corrective structure. There's a possibility of one more down before you push higher. Okay, so watch this one for upside. All right, now I think we can now go to the US dollar pairs. Very interesting that all the forecasts that we looked at last week, Tuesday, have played out exactly as forecasted. Now let's look at Euro. Euro daily. Now, what did we say about the Euro structure? I'm going to switch on the labeling so I don't have to repeat it. We said we're looking for the last piece to be an ending diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we started looking at this structure from when it was here. 2 weeks back, we had this corrective structure. We wanted it to push down to the lower boundary of the diagonal. Okay, now we're going to look at the 4 hour. So this is the structure that we're expecting on the Euro. Let's switch it off here and show what we're looking at. That is the diagonal. 1, 2, 3. We'll expect a bounce, another bounce, another push to the lower side. And you'll see that I'm indicating a 3-wave pullback to this level. It does not have to be that. It can be any corrective structure. What if it becomes a flat correction like this? It's still okay. So that's why you need to have a clear understanding of what the structures are. Okay, so that is Euro. Let's switch off here and go to the 4 hour. Has played out exactly as forecasted. We've made that downside. Looks like we still want one more down to complete. Let's switch on again. So this is what we looked at. We looked at this one breaking to the downside while it was correcting, and this one pushed down, and then we looked at this one to break down. Looks like we're going to have another one. So we are looking to come down to the lower boundary here for upside. Okay, we want that upside. Now that upside will have to be a wave 4 first. That will be a 3-wave move, then 5, then upside. And that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, if you look at this, we're supposed to have divergence on this move. Towards the end here, we can see that on this move here, we're already having this divergence here. This one is making lower lows, lower lows. We need to look at the bigger structure as well. It's making lower lows. This one is now started making higher highs. Now, if you look at the higher degree, which is the daily, this is what you're looking at on the daily. That structure. So what I was trying to look at here is divergence. Now you'll see that on the daily, you've got this daily divergence there. It's making lower lows, but on the daily, we already started making the higher highs. So the upside is coming on the Euro. It's not going to go down just like that. It should pull back first. even if it's in 3 waves, we must get that pullback. We already have divergence, we must get that pullback, or rather any corrective structure that you'll find there. Very clear now. Now, the DXY is the opposite of the euro, so you can just, you can see that we're looking for divergence there as well. We're looking for this 1, 2, 3, a little bit of a push to the upside, 4, and then a 5. Now that structure will be something like this. That will be a diagonal, ending diagonal in wave 5. Then that will have that be the one that you have to the upside on the euro. This can also be a flat correction like that instead of a zigzag. So we're just showing there the possible structures. Okay, so let's see if we're going to get a little bit of a push to the upside. Let's see if it's clear on the 4-hour, so that we can confirm that we're going to get that upside on the euro. We need this to break to the upside so that the euro can also complete its last move to the lower boundary, while this one completes its move to the upper boundary of the ending diagonal. Clear structures. DXY, that's the DXY. Now, US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, let's look on the daily. Look at the bigger structure. Switch off all this. Now, US dollar CAD could be doing this. You've got a 3-wave move to the upside. You've got a 3-wave pullback. Now, what you see here is that you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 back. We could be getting 1, 2, 3. That will go retest the top there. Now, if it retests the top, that means you're going to have a move down, correction, and a move down. One more test to the upside and push down. So that is the structure. So we will update what the structure looks like in terms of the whole sequence. So for now, we're looking for this one to push a little bit higher, possible to come and retest the previous highs there. Now, if we have to look at this in the lower degrees, we'll go to the 4-hour. It looks like we've got a candle down here, or not even a candle down. We've got a corrective structure, looking corrective. So this can still push to the upside. US dollar chief, we're still expecting the euro to push one more down. So we'll expect US dollar chief to go one more up. Why do we want US dollar chief to go one more up? I don't know if I can't remember if I showed this in this webinar or during the daily mentorship session. The reason why we're looking for this US dollar chief to complete its last move to the upside is because of this long-term diagonal that we've been looking at, I think, for the last 2 years. Okay, so we just want this to go complete the move, and that's why we're looking for euro to go complete the move and the DXY to go complete the move to the upside so that the structures can complete. Right, so US dollar chief, that is what you're looking for. You're looking for this small continuation pattern to complete the move to the upside. So on the 4-hour, let's go look at it again. That is your corrective structure. It can do this and keep pushing higher. It will be doing exactly as we expect of the structure. Pound US dollar. So now the pound pairs are a little bit tricky right now. There are two possibilities here. We took a trade here, expecting that it was going to come and get only up to this level. Okay, so when it got to this level, I actually took it off. Okay, I took off this trade because I saw that it was not going to go all. I thought it was not going to go all the way. I wanted this to go and make a move to the upside. Let's have a look here. Right, so we have had this 1, 2, 3 wave move. Now, what we have been expecting here was that this was going to be a 3-wave pullback, a 1, 2, 3 wave move, and another 1, 2, 3 wave move. But now it's coming down with this structure. Now the question is whether this is now 1, 2, 3, a pullback here, and we're going to get this one as a 1, 2, 3, where we are now supposed to reverse. So if that is the case, then what you have here is something like this. Let's have a look here. This is not clear at all. Let's use a different color. Let's use the blue. 1, 2, 3. So you cannot really trade this until you get the right structure. Okay, so if we're looking at this as a three-wave pullback, that means we're expecting upside. Now, to look at there's two possibilities. We need to get a pullback in corrective structure for us to confirm that this move to the upside has completed. Now, this was the initial assumption on this pair. Let's have a look at this. Initially, we were looking at this as a expanding flat, a move up, a move back down, and a move up. Now, if this starts making a pullback here, that means we are going to play out that expanding flat. You saw how we look at that expanding flat on the S&P 500 or the indices played out. So that will be this expanding flat. Okay. Unfortunately, I already took off my trade from here because I thought that was just going to make a move to the upside. But if that is the move to the downside, I'm going to wait for another corrective structure to enter, something clean as this. Okay. Something on the chat box. Let me read. No problem, SL. All right, so that is what we're going to be looking at now. You need to look at the two possibilities. A pullback in three waves means the expanding flat is going to play out. Now, a pulsing move here means that we're going to have a push, a move to the upside, a corrective structure, which could be a running flat, and one more up. Then this expanding flat will be invalidated. Now, we're going to look at those two possibilities. For now, you cannot take any trade on the pound like that. You don't have a buy setup, you don't have a sell setup. And that goes for most of the pound pairs. Okay, so that is pound US dollar. Now, let's look at Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar has done exactly what we expected it to do. If you look at this labeling, I think we've put in this labeling about 3 weeks back. Let's remove that. Now we've got a move down in 3 waves, a move back up in 3 waves, and another move here that is incomplete. So we are looking for the same move to happen here. We're 1, 2, 3, follow the green, 1, 2, 3, follow the green, 1. We don't have this one yet. So if you get a corrective structure here on Audi US dollar, you'll be looking for this move to the blue box. If you get into the blue box, we'll be expecting this. A move up, a correction in 3 waves, and a move up. That's what we're expecting. And from there, we'll expect further downside. So now you are only going to be looking at this to be making a corrective structure, okay, for further downside. New Zealand. Now, if you look at New Zealand, we've made a move to the upside. We're now making a corrective structure like this, 1, 2, 3. So from there, I'm expecting that we've got a move here. If you get a corrective structure here, guys, take it because that could be this move. Okay, now if you remember what I forecasted on this when we were, let's see where we were. We were here. So we expected that we're going to have a move like this. We got 1, 2, 3. We got this fourth move. Okay, thought we were going to get this one. So if we got this one, it was going to be this structure here. Just trying to remember what the forecast was. So expected that this one will come back up here, making this a cool corrective structure. Move like that, move like that. Okay, so we managed to get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 moves out of 6. So that's okay. So now what the structure that is happening here is very clear. You've got here a move down, you've got a 3-wave pullback. Okay, so that 3-wave pullback is actually happening like this. And then you're getting this one. Now we're getting a pulsing move here, you're waiting for a corrective structure. So you're looking for this one to be a regular flat. A regular flat. Okay. Now actually we need to correct this one here. this is actually a 1, 2, 3 wave move here, and this one makes a 3 wave move like that. Let's just see here. No, the initial one is correct. Is this one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is the one. That is why we got a move here. You've got to move up, you've got a correction, and then you're expecting this. Okay, so you're right at the bottom, expect a corrective structure here. Don't miss it, because if you get it, you're going to get this all the way up to this level. Correction hasn't started yet, but it looks like it's going to start. That is New Zealand. And the ZAR, US dollar ZAR, we spoke about this going to the upside. You could see that structure. When this was building up, we said that this was going to push higher. You got this move here. Looks like it's still correcting here for one more up. Okay, so that is that. You just look for more upside on US dollar ZAR. Okay, let's just show the higher degree structure so we can see where we go coming from. The higher degree structure is this one. So we have one. Let's get the yellow color. We've got one here. We're expecting this to be a running flat 2, 3. Okay, this is a move up here. Now I'm looking at this as a corrective structure. Okay, so I'm going to be looking for this one to make a move to the upside. Okay, so this is the move here, and that's what we're going to be expecting. Hold on a second, guys. So this is the structure that you will expect here on US dollar ZAR. Okay, push higher and then move to the downside. Either it can come back for one down, or it can go from here. So if it goes from here, that means that this is all the corrective structure that it needed. So how you will know that is if we start correcting at current levels, then it's going to go all the way. If you start correcting from here, we're going to go all the way back to the previous highs at 1550. Right, let's look at the yen pairs. We'll start with pound yen. Pound yen, like the other pound pairs, it's a little bit tricky at this stage. We've got a move here. That is 1, 2, 3 waves. I'm going to go to the 4-hour. It looks like we've got another 3-wave move here. Right, so now after that, are we going to get another 3-wave move here like this? That will give us a WXY structure. So I still don't believe that this is the reversal on the pound pairs. But let's see how this plays out. I'm expecting a move like that. A pulsing move up, a corrective move, and a pulsing move to the upside. That will eventually retest that top there. Let's have a look on the 4-hour and see what the structure looks like here. Let's see. This is the 4-hour now. Let's look at the 4-hour. One, two, three. Like this. 1, 2, 3. Now you also have this 1, 2, 3 wave here. Now we're coming down with this one. We're coming down with this one. 1, 2, 3. Could this be now the W, the X, and the Y? Let's see. It looks like this one is not done yet. We make one more to the downside, and then we get the move to the upside. But like I said, this is not a clear corrective structure. We need to get more data, more information to see what this will play out like that. So this is what we're looking at. We're going to wait for this to give us more data. It's not clear at this stage. But what we know is the higher degree. Let's look at this. So we know that there is the higher degree. So we're just waiting for that corrective structure to give us a clue when it's going to end. We've got a higher degree like that. And you'll see the labeling there is very clear. We're looking for this. Now follow the yellow. 1, 2, and the C is an ending diagonal. Again, follow the yellow. 1, 2, 3. Now what are we expecting? We're expecting another 1, 2. That's why I'm saying I'm not convinced that this is the move that is coming down. Even this is coming down like this, I'm expecting a corrective structure that will go eventually to retest the 156 level there. Now let's switch this off. You see how clear that structure is. You've got an A, B, C move. This is a C, this is a diagonal. You've got a diagonal there. Now you've got here a running flat. I need to use a different color. You've got a running flat there. There's a 1, 2, 3 wave move. So you're expecting 1, 2. This 2 is not complete yet. This is what we're busy with. This is a structure that I'm saying we need to wait for more information. But we know the overall structure and the overall direction. This is why you can just wait and see where this continuation pattern is going to end. So when you've got the forecast, you don't worry much about these small corrective structures. You will focus when they are complete. You will trade them when they're complete. You will pick them up when they're complete. And this can even do this, guys. It can even do this one. It can even go sideways. So it can even go sideways. The structure exactly not very clear at this stage. So it can be a flat correction. Let's see how this plays out. And it going sideways is even better and high probable for this to come back to try to retest the previous high there. That's on pound JPY. US dollar JPY. Now US dollar JPY, this is on the daily. Let's look at the 4 hour. You want to look at this move 4 hour. If you look on the 4 hour on US dollar JPY, last week we saw this corrective structure here, and we thought it was going to push up higher. Yes, it did push forward up, because this was a showing continuation to the upside, but it was only for a few pips. Okay, so now we've made a reversal. It's a pulse and a correction. Will tell us that we are possibly going to retest the previous low. Why? This is because this structure is going to be like this. We've got the overall structure here. Let's show the labeling there. That is the overall structure. We'll expect this now. It's already correcting here to do this. Now, this corrective structure here will be a WXY. X, Y in red. I must actually do this with the trading view annotations. So long, let's update it here. So we'll have this as a W, X, and a Y. Change this to red. Do it right now. That's red, and that's a minor degree. So those that are still using MT for trading view is very user-friendly, guys. You saw how long it took me to complete that. It was very quick. WXY. Now here you're gonna have this one as WX, and this Y is gonna come here. That's how we adjust. You see the adjustment that we've just made, and that's how you work. That's how you analyze. So you got this one as a corrective structure. You can take this one to come and retest the previous low there. If it comes, I'm putting in a buy limit order here. If we come to this level, because it's gonna push up higher like that. All right. That is US dollar JPY. Now Euro JPY. Euro JPY. We've got a move here. So I thought this was going to make a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3 to the upside. It looks like it is making a 1, 2, 3 pullback. Expect another 1, 2, 3. This is your WXY. And still we'll go to this move, because what you will have here is this. I think I did that a little bit too fast. I'm going to redo it again. What you have here is this. You've got to move, and a move to the upside. Let's do this one cleanly and slowly. So we expected that to go to the upside. Maybe that's not the case. We're going to get a X that goes a little bit more like that. Now what we'll have here is we've got to have a 1, 2, 3 wave back, a 1, 2, 3 wave back, a 1, 2, 3 wave back. Now that is the structure that we're looking at. which should be W, X, Y in this degree. So we want this to pull back here in the same size and degree as this one. Okay, so then what you will have is this 1, 1, 2, 3, and then upside. So for now, we'll expect downside. Okay, that is what we're going to be looking at. Right, so now there looks like to be a bit of a continuation here, but you need to wait for this one to do this, to take one down. That's Euro, Chief. If we're looking for this structure to the downside, will it reverse here? If it starts doing here, ending here with this move like this, we will get this move, because now what we have here is that we already had this move to the upside, and it's in 3 waves. Okay, so what you will have here is that you're going to have this doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 back, which is this degree. Now this one will expect the same thing here, that it does this, pull back and then move to the upside. That is just the forecast. Okay, so we'll be expecting reversal soon here. It may go down slowly, make a V pattern here, and reverse. So keep an eye on it. Don't just rush into the buying. You don't buy this, it has not got a setup yet. It has got no confirmation. That is Chief, and then Audi, JPY. Audi, JPY, we got the move to the upside here. Let's have a look here. We had a pulsing move to the upside. Now it looks like, let's switch this off. Initially, we looked at this as a corrective structure, and then it was going to go up like that. Doesn't seem so. Yes, we bought this one when it broke out of here for this couple of pips. But what we are seeing now is this. What are we seeing now? We've got to move to the upside. We've got to move down. We've got 1, 2, 3. Now you're getting this move to the downside. I think let me use a different color here. Let's use green there. You've got 1, 2, 3. And then move to the downside. Okay. That's the structure that we're looking at. So we're looking for this one to continue to come and retest the low here. Same as the other yen pairs. Right, that is Audi, New Zealand. Same as New Zealand US dollar, you can see that we've started a move to the upside here. We've had a 1 regular flat and a move down here. You've got a pulse here, you're expecting a move to the upside. What you had here was 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you're expecting upside. Clear structure, easy. CAD. Let's have a look at the CAD. Now CAD also, we expected that it was going to have, it had a move up and a pullback here. So we expected this to go all the way. Okay, so this did not. Now it looks like we're still going to make a structure here. Even if it does this, come down, does this, come down, does this, come down in 3 waves, that will be a 1, 2, 3, and then a push higher. But that is just long-term forecast. For now, let's see how this plays out. Could even give you a corrective structure here to come and retest the bottom here. So it can play out a number of ways. This corrective is just to show you the number of ways that this can play out. This can do this down here, push back up, 1, 2, 3, which is this one. So you've got a number of possibilities here. You need to anticipate all of them. So then you can have this one as a WXY structure. I think this one is most probable. Get this one to come down to this level. Okay. After this, you're gonna expect this move. You're gonna expect this move, a move up, correction, and a move up. That is CAD JPY. Now let's look at gold and silver. silver, and gold. Starting with gold. Now, if we look at gold, I'm going to look at this current structure. You can clearly see that this has made an A, B, C move. But what do the rules say about a C wave? A C wave is supposed to have 5 waves. So you can't have a C wave with 3 waves. So you've got a pulsing move here, clear 5 waves, 1, 2, 3 wave pullback. You need here 5 waves, even if it's going to be a diagonal. Okay, it will be a valid diagonal if it makes a 5th wave like that, then a push higher. So now this is going to be A, B, C, and we'll expect a push to the upside. Okay, so clear structure. We want one more down on gold to complete the diagonal. Silver, same. You can see the structure is the same as gold. You've got an A, B, and a C. Okay, so you've got here a pullback in B. Now internally here, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 down, and then that will complete the structure. This is your diagonal. It's your diagonal. Now after that, you will expect that this will be your last move, and then a push higher. Okay, you need to see divergence obviously between the two with these moves. When these moves are happening, we need to see divergence on the RSI. It's already happening. You're getting the lower lows, you're getting higher highs. So that pullback in 3 waves on both silver and gold is only a pullback and will continue to the upside. That is silver and gold. Now let's look at the pound pairs. We already looked at pound US dollar, so we're going to look at pound chief. So pound chief, if you look on the 4-hour, you've got this one, pullback in 3 waves. Can this make another 3 wave like this? Or for now, it can do 1, 2, this is on the 4-hour, okay, so it's okay. What we've got here is a 3-wave move to the downside, 1, 2, 3. Now we've got a 3-wave pullback. Now what we could possibly have here is that this can come here, retest the low here, come back up, then makes a 1, 2, 3, and push up higher like pound US dollar. And then we'll get one more up. If that is not the case, this will be the impulse, this will be the corrective structure, and we're going to have a move all the way up to the downside. But the way this has come down, it does not look convincing for downside. It's not a strong pulsing move to the downside. But with the pound pairs, we need to wait a bit. This is a sell setup if it breaks out of the flag. But too short because you need to understand what's going to happen if we're going to break that low or not. Pound New Zealand, we've been looking at this for the last couple of weeks, looking for that last move to the upside. Did not go as far as we wanted it to go, but we did get the move. So now we've made a move to the downside. We just want a corrective structure to take it down. It is pound New Zealand. Pound Audi has made a pulsing move to the upside. As expected, yes, last week, I said we were on the blue box. If you watched, I think 2 weeks back, the video 2 weeks back, we said this is at the blue box area. I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before. We expected this to reverse here, which has happened. Is this now going to push higher? Now, you could ask yourself, how could you forecast pound Audi to go up while pound chief and pound US dollar are looking like downside? Now, if you look at what has happened, this one has made a corrective structure, and pound US dollar, you will see that it did a strong move to the downside while this one was coming up. That was Friday. You see, pound US dollar came down while pound Audi was coming up. So you do get those times where there is that correlation is not so strong. So it's another thing. We need to be able to understand the correlation coefficient of the pairs, and that keeps varying over time. Okay, for now, let's expect this move to go one up. If not, we're going to get a corrective structure here. It will take us down. Then we'll look at a different structure. Pound CAD. We're going to move down. Now, this move looks like, let's have a look here. Looks like we're going to make a regular flat here. We're going to make a regular flat because if we do, we're going to get a move like this. So let's see. It looks like this one wants to make this move here. Or rather, this is contained in this diagonal here. Let's see if that is going to be the diagonal. If that is the case, this could be an A, B, and then this becomes a diagonal in 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This one makes more sense. If that is the case, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, pull back in 3 waves, diagonal, and then a move up. That is pound CAD, euro pound. Let's look on the daily on euro pound. So we've had this corrective structure. Before that, let's show the labeling here. We've always wanted this one to come down to the blue box. Complete the pound moves. So that is the blue box. We wanted it to come down there. Looks like it's still going to come down. If it does come, that means the pounds are going to look upside. Okay, so we're going to have an alternative for the pound pairs that looks upside. Right, Euro Audi. Euro Audi, we were looking at this structure. 1, 2, 3. This one became very short in such a way that this may actually be starting a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That could do that. So it means Euro Audi will be pushing slightly up. So we can get this 1, 2, 3, and then upside. So let's see. It's Euro Audi, Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand can be a running flat. As you can see that we've got a move down here. We would have expected it to come and retest the top there. But this has broken here. So let's see what structure that we're gonna get here. So we have here S1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, but it's incomplete. So there's a possibility that this can push a little bit higher. Let's see what happens when we open on Monday. So then we're gonna have the move. We're gonna have this move, correction, and then that move. That is Euro New Zealand, Euro CAD. So Euro CAD, let's switch off the labeling. We're gonna move down. Pulsing move up, pulsing move down. Let's do that with a different color. You got a pulse and a pulse. Now you got to move, got a corrective structure. This corrective structure can come and retest the low here and come back up here and do this and come back up here until you get this structure. And that structure will be something like this. It will be this one internally here. My mouse is a little bit screwed. This one here, then we're gonna have this one externally here in the higher degree, which is gonna be A, B, C. Here like that. Now you can even identify that one. No, not with that color. The outer one is this one. We'll expect continuation to the downside. Let's see how that plays out. That concludes all the euros. All right, we still have a euro chief. Euro chief is looking perfect. You've got a 1, 2, 3 here. Now go and look for this trade. A corrective structure here is going to take you down because you've got 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 pull back. You're expecting 1, 2, 3 down as well. So if you get a core entry point here, take this one. It's a simple WXY structure. Take it if you see it. That's Euro Chief. Now let's look at some of the cross pairs. We'll start with Audi New Zealand. So Audi New Zealand is this complete? Is this now the move that we have been waiting for? That has completed here. Okay. So that could be the move, and that if if that's what it is, then that means you're going to get another continuation to the downside. We already have a passing move. What you need to go and do now is wait for the corrective structure to take you down. Simple. New Zealand CAD, we've made a three-way move. We expected, remember we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the New Zealand pairs. Now we've made this corrective structure. Same as the other New Zealand pairs, we're expecting this to make a move, correction, and push higher. That's New Zealand CAD, New Zealand Chief. Again, we'll be expecting a move to the upside. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. 5 wave move to the upside. 1, 2, 3 there. We'll expect a move to the upside before we expect this purple down. Purple down, a move, a correction, and a move. That will be A, B, C. A, B, C. That's the structure we're looking for. So that is now completed. This one still needs to give us, possibly it can do this sort of a V pattern and then push higher. Let's see. It can go up with the rest of the New Zealand pairs. Looking at Audi Chief. Audi Chief also, this one has retested the top here. Get this one here to come back and retest the low here. And CAD Chief, before we do oil, same, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. Now we're making a passing move to the downside. Is this going to be a corrective structure for downside? Let's see how that plays out. And lastly, we look at oil. Now, oil finally is now making a passing move in the opposite direction. We simply want this to make a corrective structure. Okay, we want this to make a corrective structure. So let's see what corrective structure it's going to build. Maybe something goes sideways, or it can be a pullback. All right, guys, that's all I had for you this week. Good luck trading in the next coming sessions. Trade responsibly. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you very much. Have a great week. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.